Father Rishanta Rodrigo, rector of the Church of St. Mary and Jhon, Nugegoda, the principal of St. John's College, Mr. Maitrivala Vinarachi, and Mr. Bertie Ekanayaka, vice patron and the sponsor of this book, St. John's College, Nugegoda, to mark the 100 years of St. John's College, and the president of the OPA, Dr. Vikram Singh, Ms. Nirmala Vikram Singh. There are so many names I had to. Alvin in front row, one of our very active all boy and vice patron, Sunimal Chandana, Pali Ambalanduva, then Daya Perera, then Rachit. So then, I think most of all boys who gathered here today, I can call him by name, except the all boys who left the school before I joined the school. So, thank you very much for inviting me for this very important event organized by St. John's College All Boys Association to mark the 100 years of the college by publishing St. John's College with the history of St. John's College, and especially the Nugegoda and the surroundings. And I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Jagat Savanadas, former Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Bertie Ekanayaka, the Vice Patron, who sponsored the printing of this book, St. John's College, Nugegoda. I think I joined St. John's College in 1962, so I was there till 1972. After my school education, I joined Bank of Ceylon, and I completed banking exams. In 1982, at the same time, I did my law degree. Honorable Minister of Justice Wijayadas Rajapaksa is my roommate. We were reading for LLB, first in laws and LLB, the finals and the attorney finals. And then I joined private bar as a defense counsel in Colombo High Courts in 1985. Then in somewhere around late 80s, I interested in politics because my father and some of my relatives, they were in politics, and my father was one of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Town Council member of then Maharagama Town Council, representing the Gangoda Villa, where Sri Jadavpura University is situated. So then I had some political affiliations. So then as a result, I contested, as mentioned by Mr. Jagat Savanadas, then Urban Council of Kotte, as the Vice Chairman of the Kotte Urban Council in 1991. So 2 years later, I was elected to the Western Provincial Council as a provincial councillor representing Colombo district. Then after 1994 general election, including Mrs. Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumarthunga, later she became the president and then prime minister, she left the Western Provincial Council together with Bernard Soisa, very eminent politician. Then former Prime Minister Rathru Vikramanayake. So then as a result, of course, I was given the portfolio of agriculture, local governments and all in 1994. Then 1 year later, Maurice Rajapaksa, the then Chief Minister, he died. Then I was given the leadership of the Western Provincial Council. Then I became the Chief Minister of the Western Provincial Council. So not only the Chief Minister, but at the same time I held the portfolio of Provincial Education Ministry. So then I had the opportunity to serve St. John's College as a minister, Provincial Council minister. But before that, of course, I was secretary of the St. John's College. I can remember when former IG, late Mr. Cyril Herath, he was the president, and then myself and Jagat, we both co-secretaries.
He was president. I was president.
Yes. So we were there, most of our old boys. So then we had very good, very interesting time as members of All Boys Association. We had Sunil Aradna, then Ajanta Ranasinghe, then Preeti Ranasinghe, late Preeti Ranasinghe. So then Daya knows all these, our old boys. And unfortunately now, Bertram Patirana, he passed away a few years ago. And Percy Pereira from Jambu Kasmula, he is one of the founders of St. John's College All Boys Association. So I think Percy's elder brother died, then younger brother Mervyn Herath also died later. So I think we, St. John's College, Jhonians of course, we are very proud that our college has produced thousands of responsible citizens in our country. You find some sportsmen, Shamal was there, and Daya was there. They played for some leading clubs, cricket clubs in our country. And then Anusha Sambaranaike also, one of the, if I remember correct, no? Anusha Sambaranaike, the Sri Lankan cricket, yes, fast bowler. Yes, he is also production of St. John's College. And Conrad, good old days, still they remember their life in St. John's College. And business people, Mr. Stanley Williams, he died some time back, one of the leading businessmen. You know very well him as the Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce. And academics, the professionals, Dimitri is also here. So then after so many years, I met him today. Though he is we are in the same profession. Because I left courts in 1994, but for a short period, 2001 to 2004, when I was in the opposition, so then I appeared for some other friends without charging any fees. So I think St. John's College, from 1962, still I remember the good times and the bad times in St. John's College. I think 2-3 years ago, there was a bad time again. So then fortunately the present principal took over the school, and now I think he has a very good plan to develop the school, not only the infrastructure, but also the quality of education of St. John's College. So some people ask me, you were the Chief Minister of the Western Province for 5 years, and you were the Minister of Education for 5 years, from 2005 to 10. But why didn't you upgrade St. John's College to national school? So I said, so then if you go to their records, exam results, so they are not in a position to my knowledge, they were not in a position to upgrade into a national school. You compare the O-level and A-level results of Anla Vidyalaya and adjoining Samudradevi Vidyalaya. So still you have to achieve. So that was my position. But as the Minister of Education, I allocated millions of funds, and before that, as the Chief Minister of the Western Province, I think most of the new buildings you find my name put there, declared open or laid foundation stone by so and so. So then I think now there's a building started by our Old Boys Association to mark the 100 years. I think I managed to give some funds to complete stage 1. So we need another, I think, more than 35 million to complete the entire building. So I can remember the 2 presidents came to St. John's College. Former President, His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, came to St. John's College to open the 4-story building, new building. Then, that was in 2010. Then present President, he also visited St. John's College recently, because the principal has served in Polonnaruwa, one of the Polonnaruwa schools, so then he has some connection with present President. But however, so present President also visited St. John's College. So therefore, I think we can get the support of the government, even the Provincial Council. Now the present Minister in charge of education in the Western Provincial Council. So during my period as the Chief Minister, of course, I helped him lot to re-elect to the Provincial Council. So then he will support me. So I can remember that we had very good cadetting team, and the scouting team, scouting in charge, C.D. Silva, one of the coordinating secretaries of former President J.I. Jayawardena. So he passed away. And Amara teacher is still living. So whenever we have any event in the school, so Amara teacher used to come there. I think Mrs. Vikram Singh also knows very well Mrs. Amara. So then she was in charge of Cubs at that time. So I think she is in late 80s, I believe. But she managed, but however, she gave me a telephone call. So then I met some teachers who taught us during 1960s, 70s. And if you go through the book, I just went through the book, and then I saw some eminent people who, the production of St. John's College, still they serve the country in many ways. So therefore, we are very proud. And then at this stage, I must mention the founder of St. John's College, and especially Father Percy Vikramasinghe. I think in 1930s, he was instrumental to the rapid development of the school during that period. So if not for him, I think we would have seen educated and responsible citizen produced by St. John's College. But however, now we are talking about the old boys who studied in St. John's College 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, then 60s, then 70s. I think there are some all boys who educated in 80s, 90s, and even after 2000, I think now they are also in a very good positions in the private sector as well as public sector. So I think St. John's College now, after completing 100 years, I think we have to do a lot to improve the quality of education. So then I held different portfolios, Minister of Education, then Petroleum Industries, Power and Energy, then Environment. Now, I think after issuing the Gazette notification 2 days ago, now the name also changed. Earlier said Ministry of Technology, Technical Education and Employment. Now it is Ministry of Science, Technology and Research. The technology includes technical education also at certain level. So I think now I have to work with academics and professionals. So I have 13 institutions under my ministry. For an example, National Science Foundation, you find all these, board members and many scientists. So recently I visited the Nano Park, Slintech in Homagam. That is, of course, there you find about 30 young scientists who obtained doctorates from various countries, from Australia, from UK, from US. So they have come back and now they are engaged with research that they have undertaken. So then you find ITI transfer of some technical some findings and all that in the National Invention Commission. All that, of course, I am happy with this ministry because I have to associate with most of academics, professionals and engineers. So then I think we have a plan to improve the science and technology in our school system. I am going to set up science societies, because when I was at St. John's College, I was the president of the Science Society and the member of debating team and the secretary of the Sinhala Literary Association. So then cadet platoon, Lance Sergeant of the cadet platoon. So I went to the Talawa camp twice. So then we have engaged in many activities during our school time. But nowadays you find students, whether they are studying in rural areas or urban areas, of course, they are not engaging with extracurricular activities. That is the main reason. For they are confined to, some students confined to the laptop or the computer after they go home. Or immediately after the school, they go to tuition classes. Then till midnight, they are in the classes. So they don't have time to read. They don't have. So it is high time to change the system. I think every 8 years we change syllabuses, update syllabuses, and print new books. I can remember as the Minister of Education, I went to Cambridge University, International Division, and I had a very long discussion with them, and then one team came to Sri Lanka, and then I introduced them to our Commission of Examination at that time to improve the evaluation system. If you improve the evaluation system, then automatically you have to improve the syllabuses and the textbooks. But however, with our general education and our graduates passing out from our university, especially in science or in commerce streams, of course, they can compete any student in any universities in the world. Because I also followed a short-term program in Harvard University, the 2 weeks leadership program. So then there, of course, I had discussions with several educationists and then ministers and high-ranking officials from various countries, of course. So if you compare the other countries in the region, of course, we are well ahead. But now we have to improve, not the general literacy, it is computer or IT literacy. So we are somewhere around 40%, so we have to if we can hit 80% within next 2 to 3 years, of course, then we can achieve other goals also, because every 15 years UNESCO, they set goals, SDG, MDG, like that, Millennium Development Goals, now Sustainable Development Goals. As a country, we have achieved Millennium Development Goals, completion of primary education, the enrollment rate, then minimizing school dropouts. So we have achieved all the goals compared to other countries. But now, Sustainable Development Goals. So next 15 years, we have to achieve that. I think with our cultural background of the country, irrespective of religion or caste or races, we can achieve that. So I think now we have passed many eras, our school life, and then 1970s first insurgency, 1971, then terror period, latter part of 1980s. I was practicing in Colombo High Courts. Then development era. Then again some troubles in the country. Then terrorist period, 30 years. Now after 2009, now we manage it. Now as a result, of course, now we have to face some challenges internationally. I think the present President, His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, and the Prime Minister and the government is quite capable to manage the challenges that we are facing, and within next couple of days, I think we'll be able to overcome many difficulties, and as a peaceful country, we'll be able to march forward and develop the country without any discrimination, any ethnicity, ethnic group, or any religion. So that is the concept of His Excellency the President. So now it's a peculiar system, because for the first time we are experiencing two major parties getting together to form a government, and they are sharing cabinet portfolios, state ministry portfolios and deputy ministers. But so far, of course, we are working in a very cordial atmosphere. I think we have to achieve many targets within the next couple of years. So that is the responsibility given to us by the people at the last general election. None of the political parties were given overwhelming majority. So that is the wish of the people. They say, no, you have 106, you have 95. So absolute majority is 113. So to make it, either you must get the support of a breakaway group, or you have to, as policy-wise, to agree upon certain policies and then join. So that's what we have done. Both political parties, of course, they have their own policies, but the sake of the country and the nation, so then we have to forget all the differences, and we are working on a common agenda, at least for a certain period. Then we can overcome the challenges that we are facing internally and externally. So with these notes, of course, I don't want to speak much, but I think I have touched some fond memories during my school life in St. John's College, and I can see many old boys who love the college have gathered here today to witness the launching of St. John's College, authored by very eminent personality, Jagat Savanadas, and sponsored by Bertie Ekanayaka, who came from Australia, and I met him recently, 2-3 months ago.
May.
Yeah, May.
Before the election.
Before the election. Right? So he's normally every year he comes here at least 2-3 times, and then he not only he sponsored this book, but he sponsored so many, I think, cricket teams, rugby teams, and all that. Of course, we are very happy. And I think that you can continue this effort to uplift the sports, not only the sports and the quality of the college within next couple of years, and we all get together and help our school, St. John's College, to improve infrastructure and the quality of the school. So then St. John's College will be able to produce more responsible citizens in the country within next couple of years. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much again for this very successful event organized by St. John's College All Boys Association. Thank you.